This is What's Wild in New Hampshire by wildlife biologist Eric Orff. Hey, I'm in Hillsborough this morning at Morse's Sporting Goods with Jim Morse. This has been his family business. Jim, tell us a little bit about the history of the shop and, hey, what's in here and what do you see changing over time? How the New Hampshire's sportsmen, hunters, and fishermen changing?
Well, this shop was moved down here in the early 90s. It started at my mother and father's house up on Preston Street in Hillsborough.
What year was that?
In 1982, we officially opened.
Okay.
And we had it in the barn and garage and overhead and
Okay.
back room. And finally, this was bought in the late 80s. And we tore out a lot of ceilings and roofs and chimneys and moved the shop down here. And now we're, we've been running the business down here. Next year will be 40 years.
Wow.
And we've seen a lot of changes over the years. The archery has grown incredibly.
Yeah, let's walk over the archery.
Yeah.
Tell us about the archery.
Yep, we've got,
And I'm walking by something right here that he's selling too.
Yep.
Oh, I can't miss that. You're selling these, right?
Yeah, these are the Rambo bikes. We've been selling quite a few of those, and they help people get around out there. And it's a nice bike, and we actually with the Wildlife Federation, we have one on for a raffle pretty soon.
Oh, that's right. The bidding owl. Yeah.
Yes. These are some of the new compound bows. Each year, you don't think they can make them any better, and they seem to find a way to make them a little bit better. These are some of our crossbows. Technology has changed incredible on crossbows in the last few years.
And you can use them now in parts of the state, Zone M, WMUM, for the whole bow season, right?
That's correct. With the compact areas, they work in well. They don't
No noise.
travel very far, and the noise level's low. So
Nice.
they come in handy. And I sat on one of the big game studies, and one of the hardest issues is controlling the deer population in some of those more populated areas. So these work in great, and so don't the regular compound
Yeah,
bows.
and I can tell you in the last 40 years that I've been involved with fishing game, 31 years of that working there, a deer herd went from about 40,000 in the early 80s to almost 120,000 now. Depends on what number, between 100 and 120,000 deer. You got 3 times the number of deer than we had back in the 80s right now. And that growth has been highest in the southern part of the state. So where you want to use an archery equipment, where it's nice and quiet.
Yeah. And we do have the long bows and the recurve bows, which
Okay.
still we have quite a few people that like to shoot them, and
Yep.
it's a little bit more learning curve. It's like being able to throw a baseball and hit the catcher's mitt every time. You got to practice a little bit, and it takes a little more strength to
Yeah.
hold them back longer.
All kinds of gadgets over there. My God, look at that.
Yeah, we've got RAS sights. We've got the new Garmin sights for bows and crossbows.
Nice.
We've got lighted nocks.
Sweet.
On this wall over here, we have more bolts and stuff for the crossbows, and then of course we have our fishing supplies.
So constant change
Constant change, yep.
and upgrade and new lures. I'm going to go take a look over there after and see if I can find me a new lure.
And some rubber baits.
Yeah. Nice.
This is one of the newest crossbows out there. It's got the new Garmin scope on it.
Wow, look at that outfit. Wow.
Yep. And that's a nice little setup right there.
Whew.
Yep.
That and a tree stand. You'll have a good season.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And of course we have all the different firearms, muzzle loaders on that rack, long guns, shotguns, handguns.
So how have the sportsmen changed over the last 10 or 20 years, Jim? What do you see happening?
Well, I'd say that unfortunately we're getting less and less of the sportsmen that we used to have. It used to be a little bit more. We'd have more youth coming into the hunting, and I'd like to see that rekindled just a touch,
So here's a surprise for you.
Yep.
In 1960, there were 74,000 resident hunters.
Yep.
How many do you think there were this year?
I don't know.
82,000.
Oh.
We have almost 10,000 more.
Well, that's
when
good.
people say, well, you know, hunting, that's something that happened. You know, there's not many more hunters. In 1960, there was 94,300 hunters. This year, 94,100. We have as many hunters as we did in 1960. Hunting is not going away.
That's good. That's good.
In the last couple of years, it's growing quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, our business has shown it the last few years for sure.
Archery license sales up something like 20% to 22,000 bow hunters this year. They took 29% of the deer. A third of the deer were taken by archery hunters in a 90-plus day-long season. You got more time to hunt. You got more deer to hunt. You got more bears to hunt. More turkeys to hunt.
We had a lot more people at home last year,
Yep.
too, which
They could get out.
created a little bit more bang in the
Yep.
industry, and
Yep.
which it's a good thing. The outdoors will never hurt you.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, social distancing, as I say, up in a 20 feet up in a tree stand, you can't get more socially distanced than that.
right.
About you and your bow or you and your gun, all by yourself. Yes, sir. So things are happening, things are changing,
Yep.
and your shop, well, it keeps changing too, doesn't it, Jim?
Yeah, it does a little bit each year, you know, and we all get a little bit older.
Yes, we do. And still enjoying our hunting, aren't we?
Yeah.
So very good, awesome, Jim. Hey, just gonna take a sweep of the shop here. If you need something relative to hunting and fishing and bow hunting and muzzleloader hunting, stop by and see Jim over here at Morse Sporting Goods in Hillsborough, New Hampshire. What road are you on, Jim?
This is 85 Kentucky Falls Road.
85 Kentucky Falls Road. And come see Jim. That light is in you, making you an angel. That, I know that's not a fact.
That's the truth.
All right. Thank you, Jim Morse. This is wildlife biologist Eric Orr for What's Wild in New Hampshire.